Hi guys, Jamie Humphries here for Six String Alliance, and today we're taking a look at the Line 6 DL4 Mark II. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Line 6 DL4 Mark II delay pedal. Now, this is a little bit of a rush video, I've got to say. It's not my normal style of demo video with the track, etc. Basically, there's one demo unit in the whole of Scandinavia, and Patrick from Yamaha Line 6 in Scandinavia was so kind as to drop off the pedal. I've had a little bit of time playing with it. He's picking it up in about 2 or 3 hours time. So I've literally just had to put something together. So this is more of an overview and my first impressions, but I am going to get the pedal back when there's a little bit more time and try and do something a little bit more creative and a little bit more musical with it. So the DL4, the original pedal, was released in, I think it was 99, 2000. And it was an absolutely groundbreaking delay pedal. It was in the early days of modeling, and it was the first time that guitar players had a pedal where they could experience a wide variety of different delays. Anything from tape echoes all the way to more classic and modern sounding delays, all in one stomp box, although it was quite a big stomp box. But it enabled you to record presets, and also it had a looper on board. So it was really kind of the first pedal of its kind. And also it had a real sort of analog ergonomic sort of feel about it. There wasn't loads of little sub menus and digital displays. It was literally just turning dials. So it felt like an old school pedal. So it had a real appeal to guitar players. Now, in the early 2000s, through my work with Music Man became involved with Line 6. And that's when I became involved with Line 6. And it was before Yamaha were involved with Line 6. I used to go up to Rugby in the UK. I had to go on a pod training course and learn about all of the gear. And I got a DL4. I had the whole collection of pedals. I still have some of them. And I loved the pedal, but there was one gripe with it for me. I took it out on a gig with my covers band, had it on the board, plugged it all into the effects loop and went to play, and all the band looked at me and I was like, yeah, something sounds weird. Unplugged it and all the top end came back into my sound. And I found that it was a little bit of a tone sucker. And so I gave the pedal back. I was like, I'm not really getting on with this pedal. And I got the rack units instead. I have a pair of Echo Pros, one in my studio rack and one in my touring rack. And I use them to this day. And they had a much better sound to my ears. So I was really keen to see if that had been improved, because that was one of my gripes. So let's just take a look at the pedal itself. It looks pretty much the same. I'm just going to reach down here, actually. Hold on. I have the distortion pedal here. Look at that. That's a weighty beast. You can see that they've actually made it a little bit smaller. So this is obviously the same size as, I'll put it there, as the original DL4. And so it's a slightly smaller unit, and that's going to please some people, because it's not going to take up quite as much room on your pedal board. It has more inputs. We have obviously your stereo in and out. I've got it connected in stereo. I thought it would be nice for you to hear stereo. That's why I'm using the Helix today. Before any of you comment and say, but the delays are in the Helix. I know they're in the Helix, but I wanted an easy solution to show stereo application. Obviously, at the beginning of this video, you heard me play through 4 sounds. I will look at more sounds in a later video. So I've got it connected in stereo. We've also got a mic XLR input. A lot of people really took advantage of the looper. So people would have their microphones plugged in, and as well as their guitars or whatever other instrument. So Line 6 have really sort of embraced that application and put the XLR, and you've got a trim pot as well. We've got an expression pedal input as well, which can control different parameters. Another great addition is the MIDI in, out, through as well. So you can connect it to external controllers or switchers or sequencers or whatever. When you connect it via MIDI, you can access up to 128 presets. Also, we have a USB for connecting to your computer, and we can also plug in a micro SD card that enables you to get a much larger looping time. What is the loop time? I've got some notes down here. I might have to put my glasses on. The loop time is 120 seconds in stereo or 240 seconds in mono, but that's greatly expanded and increased if you use the SD card. It also enables you to recall your last loop as well. It will save that onto the card. Okay, so moving on to the front, we have the selector switch here, which takes you through your different effects. We have in total 45 effects on this unit, which is pretty cool. So we have our 15 legacy delays. Those are written in green, and we access those by pressing this button here. If I press it again, that button, now you're in the legacy mode. So you can turn that control, access all of those old effects, old delay models that we know and love from the original unit. So this is really cool that, you've got some of this sort of up-to-date connectivity, the slightly smaller unit, improvements in sound quality and signal, but you can still use it as an old DL4. So when I take off that button, we are then back into the Mark II models. Here we have what's that one? We have the delay time. I might have to put my glasses on in a minute. That'll be embarrassing. So we've got the delay time there. Which also you can see you've got some subdivisions when you push that button there again. I think it's the Alt button again. Excuse me for my rushed nature and slight lack of knowing everything about this pedal. I have not had long with it. So we have the Alt button there, which will assign different note subdivisions to your the rhythm of your delay, basically. So that's a really nice option. That I like that. Then we have the repeats, and then we have the tweak and tweeze controls there, which again, these are those really nice controls that, gave it such an analog and ergonomic and user-friendly and musical feel on the original one. These two controls here will affect different parameters depending on what delay model you are using. Up the end here, we also have the mix control, and this will obviously blend in however much delay that you want. As well as those delays, we also have 15 hidden reverbs, yes, which kind of makes this into a nice sort of time-based multi-effects unit. You wonder how much further Line 6 could have gone with this, whether they could have included included some of the modulation effects off of the modulation pedal. Maybe there'll be an update of that. I do hope so. I hope they update the distortion. I love that. I absolutely love that. At the time when these units were coming out, I was playing guitar for the Australian Pink Floyd show. So my rack literally had the rack Mod Pro and Delay Pro, so I could get all the kind of Gilmour sounds. And then I had the distortion unit on my pedal board, so I could have like the color sound booster and I could have the fuzz pedals. It was just great, and I could utilize it with valve amps. So hopefully, I'm sure they will update some of those units at some point. But like I said, we've got 15 reverbs as well. As I should mention, the reverbs and the Mark II delays are all found on the Helix. So they are in this lovely unit here. And to access those, you simply hold that Alt button down. So if you, in its state as it is when you're turning the control here, that's going to be your legacy. That's going to be your Mark II delays, your new delays. When I push the button in, it's now in legacy mode when it's green. And then if I press and hold it as I'm adjusting the dials, then it will adjust the parameters of the reverbs and also change the reverbs. Something else as well, which I think is really cool. Which one is it? Is it the tweeze control? I'm sure it's the tweeze control. When you're in the reverb mode, it's got 3 different positions of that switch. So it will either be, put the reverb pre-delay in parallel, which is kind of cool, because then the 2 effects are running side by side. They're not sort of affecting each other, if you like. And then we can also have the reverb post delay as well. And all you do there is just hold that control and turn the tweeze control to set it to where you want it. Something else as well, which is really nice, is if I turn the mix control at the moment, that's going to be controlling the mix of my delay. If I hold that button in and turn it, it will then be controlling the mix of the reverb. So if you don't want a reverb, all you do is hold that control and then turn this dial here all the way down to the looper setting at the bottom. With the button pressed in, that turns off the reverb. So you've got a real wide amount of control there to enable you to tailor different time-based effects, you know, your reverbs and your delays. And the other thing I love about this pedal as well, hopefully you got a little bit of an idea during the intro. I tried to show 4 different sounds. There was one which was very kind of synthy sort of based, almost like a sequencer, you know, so you could get very creative. I found it was a real sort of an inspiring unit to use. When I plugged in, I was like, I come up with little riffs and things using this, because it was, you know, you played one note and it was doing something really cool. Obviously, we have that element of it. Also, you know, you can use it just as a straight ahead delay unit, you know, for you know, rock delays. That's what I like, you know, nice big sumptuous delays. I think I used a really big delay and reverb to get a real ethereal sound on that other sound that I used during the intro. And also there was a double track one. I played like a cheesy little rock riff at the start of this demo. And when I was playing that riff, and I had like the artificial double track setting. Again, I haven't really had time to sort of dial these sounds in. I just kind of switched to them and did it. So there's a lot more that can be done. Another point is the presets. We have these 3 buttons here. So you've got A, B, and C. So you can save 3 presets, but you can also program the tap tempo switch to toggle to another bank of presets. So you can have A, B, C, D, E, F. So you've got 6 different delay and reverb presets or combination presets at your feet. That's quite a lot. You know, I'd probably do a gig with just 3. I'd have a long delay for those kind of atmospheric moments. I'd have a short delay or a shorter delay for, my lead tones, and I was using the dynamic delay. That was the other thing. The final example, when I was holding notes and you could hear the delay swelling in, that was kind of like your 2290. I'd have that for my lead tones, and then maybe I'd have a reverb or a special effects sort of sound. But you can, as I said, you can switch through to the other bank and have more presets at your feet. I should also mention that you've got a lot of these other kind of hidden features are accessed from the global settings. I believe it's holding that button. Again, I'm trying to remember what's in the manual and looking at my cheat sheet there. You see me peering down at the floor, but looking at my cheat sheet, you can actually scroll between true bypass and buffered outputs. You've got reverb and delay trails as well, so that when you change over into different presets, the delays will kind of fade out naturally. They won't cut off dead. There is a looper. I'm not demoing the looper today. I don't have time. So the looper, we either have the traditional looper where you have the 3 different switches and you can obviously layer. I think you can do half time and you can reverse, or you can put it into a single looper mode using just one switch. And obviously that's a little bit more straightforward for those of you maybe just using the looper for a little bit of practice, or laying down a rhythm guitar part in a gig and then hitting the button and off you go. You don't need to do loads of fancy stuff, but I'm sure there's a lot more to the looper than I'm telling you. I need to explore the pedal more when I actually get my own one. So for demo purposes, I've chosen to use the Helix today instead of trying to set up 2 amplifiers that aren't the same and get it sounding the same. It's a lot easier just to use the Helix. I'm using 2 different amp sounds. I'm using a clean sound using like a Lone Star style amplifier, and then I've got like an Eddie Van Halen. I've gone to the wrong preset. Where is it? There we go. Ed PV. So I'm using like a PV style amp. I'm also using an impulse response on that. I'm using a JTC impulse response. I should have written this down, but I put a link in the description. These are really nice impulse responses. It's like I think it's like a brown pack. So if you're into your Van Halen type tones, then I really suggest you check these out. You've either got the mics on axis or off axis, and they've got either the power amps are either solid state or tube when the impulse responses have been captured. I think I'm using a 30-watt speaker. I'm sorry, guys. It's been such a rush. I said I'd give the IRs a little bit of a shout out. So that's what I'm using. So let's go on to the clean sound, and I've gone the wrong way again. Here's my Lone Star clean tone. Okay, so there's the, I'm just going to turn the dial round. And obviously, as I'm turning, as I turn the controls, obviously that's affecting specific parameters. Let's go to the next setting, or the next delay. Actually, going back to that first one, that's the vintage digital delay. I really like that. I think you can kind of adjust the bit rate of the delay, but I was having a lot of fun with that. I kind of like old school digital delays. But anyway, on to the next sound. Lovely lush sound. Next one. Oh, yeah, it's quite a rhythmical. This is what I mean. You get these delays that have this sort of. You can sort of get quite creative with them and come up with little riffs and let the delay become part of your musical process. Next one. The delays jumping from lovely spread on those delays as well in stereo. Pitch delay. Next one. That's the double track one, isn't it? So that gives you like 2 tape decks, essentially. So you can adjust I think there's the amount of distortion. I'm trying to remember these what the other buttons do. And you can adjust. I think it's there's a certain amount of modulation as well. I'm really probably not doing this as much justice as it deserves. I need more time with the unit. Next one. Put on a driven tone. Oh, where have I gone? Onto a driven tone. So it's not just all about zany, crazy delays. You know, if you're just more into your wanting a... you know, a nice digital delay to give you some spread. I love that delay. I think that gives your guitar a real lot of space. So back onto our cleanest tone. What's next? I love that. I think that's... With this this kind of harmony one, you can change the pitch or the key that you're in, and you can also change the type of scale, I believe, or the that's what it sounds like to me. And I can change the key. It's a really nice unit for being creative with. There's your looper. Next delay. I love this. I can't remember the song. I'm going to have to maybe try and flash these sounds up or something. Or just, you know, I'm running round in order in terms of what model I am using. So this one here, I really loved this with a big kind of lead. That's absolutely beautiful. Such a lovely spread of delay and also reverb on that setting as well. Next one. And then we start getting into some of the more sort of traditional, yeah. Some of the kind of old school models as well. So that's like a filter delay. You could have a lot of fun with that. Pretty cool. Next. Again, that sounds like a tapey echo sort of thing. And boy, okay, we've got another freaky one there. Sounds like you've got some reverse stuff going on. Just really quickly, because I'm running out of time until my friend from Line 6 comes and gets this. Let's have a listen to some, actually, we won't worry about the legacy delays, we've done that. Let's turn that delay off. So hopefully, that's just a clean sound. And let's now go, there you go, some reverbs. Let's turn that reverb down a bit. Next one. Some of these reverbs are huge. You got something a little bit more traditional there. Next. Ah, that's beautiful. You get some really gorgeous. We turn the mix up on that a little bit. Let's go halfway. And then you could put in a nice delay. I think really what I need to do this pedal some justice is do 3 videos. We need to do, you know, obviously we've done the overview today. I need to get this pedal back here so we can look at the reverbs, we can look at the traditional delays, the old delays, and we can look at the more up-to-date delays. But as I said, this is just an overview today to give you an example. I'm not going to sit here and go through every single reverb. My thoughts on this unit, it is absolutely fantastic. I'm not getting paid for this video, by the way. Line 6 didn't come to me and say, will you demo this pedal? I reached out to them and was like, guys, have you got one? I have to check it out. I had my reservations at first because, as I said, I'd had a slightly unfortunate experience with the original DL4 where I found it to be a bit of a tone sucker. This is absolutely off the charts, guys. I've literally had an evening to play with it this morning setting up. And as I said, I'm rushing because not only have I got to get the pedal back to Patrick, I've got to take my daughter to a kid's birthday party as well. The life of a guitar player is never easy. So, I think this is just a great pedal, guys. I think this is absolutely phenomenal. You've got so many options on there for effects, 45 effects, a looper, lots of different applications, lots of different connections. Far too much for me to discuss in one video without having a lot more time with it. But check it out. It's coming out soon. I can't wait to get mine. And like I said, once I've got a pedal in my possession where I have a little bit more time, I can put a track together, do something a little bit more musical, and we can look at the delays, we can look at the reverbs, and we can look at the looper as well. I think each of these, each of the kind of layers of this pedal, I think deserve to be looked at in full. Anyway, check out the new Line 6 DL4 Mark II. It gets, if my thumb could be any bigger, it would get an even bigger thumbs up. That's it from me. Click the links in the description for more information and stay tuned for a slightly more in-depth video. But like I said, for this overview, this is blowing me away. You've got to check it out. Thanks, guys. See you soon.